So in the second part of chapter 3, remember, Coach picked up Ghost from school, but then he was like, since you're taking me away from work, I'm going to make you practice before practice. So that's what we were reading at the end of chapter 3. Chapter 4, world record for the worst day ever. I know it seems like this was the best suspension day maybe in history. And to be honest, it was. At least at first. I got to punch that jerk Brandon in the face. I know, not cool, but still. Leave school early and hang out at the track with my new coach. Because I was on a team now, who turned out to be a pretty cool dude. Me and Coach didn't go no further into my life or nothing like that, which was a good thing, because I never really told nobody about my dad. Instead, Coach asked me who my favorite basketball player was. LeBron, I said, like it should have been obvious. Who else? Who else? Coach said, surprised. Let me think. Michael Jordan? Jordan? Come on, man. Jordan is like somebody's granddaddy. Jordan don't want to see LeBron on his worst day. LeBron could be sick from a bad batch of cafeteria and chicken drummies and still give Jordan the business. Coach stood up. See, that's the problem with you kids. Y'all don't know what a true champ is. Coach, I hate to break it to you, but LeBron is a champ. He got rings, I said, holding up 2 fingers and wiggling them around. But Jordan has 6. Now Coach held up both his hands, all 5 fingers on his right, and just one and just his pointer finger on his left. He wiggled them like I did. 6. Jordan got 6? Oh, I probably should have known that, but I didn't. Dang, I knew he won a few, but 6? Is that the Guinness World Record? The what? Coach said. The Guinness World Record. Gotta be. I put it in my head to check the book when I got a chance. I don't know, probably, but he was the greatest of all time. Coach shot me an invisible jump shot, his tongue hanging out of his mouth. It looked ridiculous. Clearly, he wasn't a ball player. Then I asked him about the guy I read about who's supposed to be the fastest man alive. Usain Bolt. Coach knew all about him, too. Usain ran a 9.58, the coach said. What's that mean? I asked, because the numbers 9, 5, and 8 mean nothing to me. They're not points or nothing like that. At least I didn't think they were. I wasn't even really sure if he could score points in track or not. Just seemed like the kind of sport you just win ribbons and medals or whatever. That was his time for the 100 meter. Coach pointed up the track toward the start line. He had everybody sprinting from the day before. From there. He moved his hand to the finish line, to there. 9.58 seconds. The boy is like lightning. I looked at the distance, and in my head, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and pictured myself running. 9 seconds. Seemed like a pretty long time. But that ain't even fast, I said. Plus, it didn't seem like 100 meters was all that long. I mean, I just run it the day before in what had to be 6, 7 seconds. Couldn't have been more than 8. You don't think so? Coach said, flashing a sly grin. You think you can beat that? I looked at the distance again. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I don't know, I shrugged. Probably. This wasn't even when the best day ever went bad. Coach told me to try to run 100 meters in 9 seconds and 58 milliseconds, Bolt's time. He stood at the finish line with his whistle in his mouth. I rolled my pants up to my knees and my shirt sleeves up to my shoulders, just like I had done the day before. On my whistle, Coach said, holding up the stopwatch. On your mark, get set, and then, ba-deep. I took off down the track, running as fast as I could, legs pumping, arms pumping, heart pumping until I got to the finish line. Ow! Coach howled excitedly. I felt good, knew that I had proven my point. I bopped over to Coach with my hand up, ready for a high five, but Coach never lifted his hand. Not even close, he yelled. Not even freaking close. You ran a 12.5. And before I could even respond, he barked, "Back on the line!" I jogged back to the start. Coach blew the whistle. I ran. He blew the whistle. I ran again and again and again. Each time I came in a little slower than the last. My head started swimming, my chest burning, and my legs got all gooey. Like all the running was turning my bones to liquid or something. After the 5th try, Coach yelled out, 14 seconds? 14 seconds? On the track, that might as well be 14 minutes. Are you kidding me? I bent over and planted my hands on my knees. My legs were shaking, but only on the inside. Like my muscles were shivering. My heart was pounding as fast as my feet had pounded the track, maybe even faster. My stomach was flipping, and I just knew that my french fries were going to come out as mashed potatoes all over the place. Coach walked over his shadow, making the red track burgundy around me. He leaned in and said slightly, almost as if he were whispering to me, "Back on the line." That's when I lost it. What? What? Again? I need a break, I panted. I'm tired. Tired? Coach squealed, and I could hear the smile in his voice. I glanced up, and there it was, big and chipped and wide, like whatever words were hiding beneath those teeth he was struggling to keep in. So he let them out. "You know who's really tired, son? Your principal." Coach put his hands up, palms facing me as if to stop me from even thinking about responding. Coach put his hands up, palms facing me as if to stop me from even thinking about responding. Then he continued, No. You know who's really tired, son? Really tired? Your mother. She's so tired. And she's going to be even more exhausted when she hears about your suspension. Come on, Coach, I begged. That's messed up. Come on, nothing, Coach said, like every old black person says when they don't need a good comeback, when they don't have a good comeback. He grabbed my shoulder and stood me straight. "Bending over cuts off the air," he said. "We stand up straight at all times, understand?" I nodded, now understanding what was happening. I was being punished after all. This was Coach's way of telling me that I better stop acting up in school. If this was what the consequences of getting sent to Mr. Marshall's office were going to be every time, I'd rather just have him call my mother. "Now, Mr. Better Than Bolt, get back on the line." Coach made me do the sprint 2 or 3 more times before finally letting up. And the only reason I think he let me up was because my sprint had broken down into that weird, sloppy trot the tall, skinny kid Sonny had done at practice the previous day. My shirt was gone. I had peeled it off and thrown it on the field just in case the wet cotton was weighing me down or something. My legs had pretty much clocked out, but instead of letting me just sit down and rest, Coach told me to walk it off. "Walk it off?" I asked, annoyed and confused and almost ready to cry. "Yeah, just walk around the track. It'll cool your body down slowly." But I didn't want my body to cool down slowly. I wanted it to cool down immediately. So yeah, at this point, I had pretty much made up my mind that track was the dumbest sport ever. I mean, you gotta move to warm up and move to cool down. Don't make no sense. Cool down should be, I don't know, some juice in an icy or something like that. Not no walk. Once I finished the first lap, Coach told me to take one more, and about halfway around the second lap of me mumbling under my breath about how stupid all this was, I could see all the other runners, my new teammates, showing up, dropping their sports bags and water bottles, and all on that track, some of their parents trailing behind. "This is going to be it," Coach was preaching to everyone as I finally made it back to the other side of the track for the second time. 10 girls, 10 boys. Just so we're clear, this doesn't mean you still can't be cut. It just means you ain't cut yet. Now, I'd like to keep it this way, but that's totally up to you. Got that?" Everybody nodded, including a young woman with braids who looked too old to be on the team, even though she was dressed in running clothes. I had first noticed her from the other side of the track and figured she was somebody's mother, until she didn't sit down with the rest of the corny kids cheering squad. Okay, so we're going to stop there. So today's response is pretty simple. Chapter 4, do you think Ghost will stay on the track team? Why or why not? Coach is riding him pretty hard. Ghost getting pretty upset. Do you think he's going to put up with this? I'm very curious to see what you have to say.